Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to start with a new chapter, and the name of the chapter is Air We Breathe. So, before we begin with this chapter, first we should know what is air. Air is a mixture of various gases. If you look at this picture, here you can see this diagram. In this diagram, we can see that the gas which is in maximum amount is nitrogen. The percentage of nitrogen is 78%. Next is oxygen. It is 21%. And rest of the gases are 1%. That is, they are including carbon dioxide, neon, argon, helium, hydrogen, krypton, water vapor. All these gases are present in the air. The most interesting thing is all these gases are colorless. They do not have any color. Red, yellow, pink, nothing. They are odorless. Odorless means they are not having any smell. They are tasteless. They don't have any taste also. Then how would we come to know that air is there? Because we cannot see them, we cannot hear them, we cannot smell them, we cannot taste them. For knowing the presence of air, we feel air. Like if a slow moving breeze is there, you can feel the air. Pages of your book or notebook flutter if you keep it under a fan. You will see the strand of your hair moving. We see that when wind is blowing, then leaves of trees are moving. When your mother is putting the washed clothes for drying, you see these clothes moving. So what is making all these move? It is air. Now, I'll show you an experiment through which you'll get to know that how we can make the presence of air felt or how we can see air. In this, what you have to do is, you have to take a mug or a glass. In that glass, you'll fill it with water, put a straw and blow air into it. When you blow air into it, you'll see that bubbles are formed. Now these bubbles rise up and they pop. So what are these bubbles? These bubbles are air. There is one interesting activity given in your book, and this activity is air in an empty bottle. It can be empty bottle, it can be empty glass, anything. So now you'll take a bucket and in that bucket fill it with water. Now take a mug or a glass or a bottle, invert it and try to insert in the water. You'll see that water will not get inside this bottle. You have to press very hard, but then also water is not getting inside it. So what we do is we tilt this bottle a little. When we tilt this bottle, we find that the bubbles are coming out. These bubbles indicate that air is coming out of the bottle and the water start entering into the bottle. So earlier in this case, no water was getting inside the bottle because the bottle was already full of air and there was no space for water to get inside. Whereas in the second case, when we are tilting the bottle, then air is getting the space to come out and that space is occupied by the water. Next you can see is, like if I take a balloon and I try to inflate it. When I inflate it, I find that it turns bigger in size. It becomes more firm. So what is going inside it? It is air. Now we will study about the characteristics of air. The very first characteristic of air is air occupies space. Here, when we did this experiment, here also we have said that air is occupying the space. Water was not able to go because there was no space. This space was occupied by the air. Now, there is another experiment to prove this. If we take a bottle and place a funnel on top of it, so we will find when we are putting any liquid into it, the liquid is going slowly, drop-wise. And the reason why it is happening is because this funnel is having a very narrow opening and through which air can go out and the water can get inside. But in the second case, if you see, we have lifted the funnel. When we have lifted the funnel, there is more space here and here. You can see there is more space from which the air can go out and more water can get inside it. The next characteristic of air is air has weight. Air is not weightless. Although we are not feeling the weight of air, but air do have weight. The weight of the air pressing on us is similar to that of an elephant. That means the weight on us is equal to the weight of an elephant standing on us. But we never feel it. The reason why we are never feeling it, because air is present inside our body also, and it balances the weight of the air outside the body. Now the experiment to show that air has weight is, this you must have done in your earlier classes also. What you have to do is, it's a very simple experiment. You have to take two identical balloons, that is they should be similar in shape, size, everything, and in one of the balloon you will fill the air. Next one you will leave it as it is. After that we will tie both these balloons to the two ends of a stick or a pencil, and in between we will tie a thread. Now if I hold this thread, then I'll find that this balloon which is having air, it moves down. That means it is heavier. And why it is heavier? The reason why it is heavier is because it is having air. So this shows that air has weight. We can do one thing, like if I'm having two footballs of similar shape and size, then we will find, and if I take out air from one of the footballs and put it on the weighing scale, I'll find that the football which is having air is heavier than the empty one. So why it is heavier? Because it is having air. This indicates that air has weight. Now the next characteristics of the air is air exerts pressure. That is, air is exerting the pressure. We know that a force of gravity is there. Earth is pulling the air towards itself and it is applying a force. Okay, so this also we can show with this experiment, very interesting experiment. This you can do at your home. You must be having an empty plastic bottle. What you have to do is, you have to take a bottle, remove the cap of that bottle and then try to squeeze it. When you squeeze it, the bottle becomes deformed. Now release it. When we release it, we'll see that the bottle will come back to its original shape. Now why this bottle is coming back to its original shape is, when we are squeezing it, then the air which is present in the bottle, it will move out, and as soon as I leave it, the air will again enter into the bottle and push on the sides. Thus the bottle retain its shape. Now next time what you will do is, you will take the same bottle, you will squeeze it. When we squeeze it, the air is going out, and after that we will put a cap on it. After putting a cap, we will release it. Then we will see that the bottle will not come back to its original shape. And the reason why it is not coming back to its original shape is there, because now since the bottle is closed, so air cannot go inside it, it cannot exert pressure. That is why the bottle will remain deformed and it will not come back to its original shape. Thank you, students.